Hey guys, Kaychak here, World of Warcraft billionaire. There's a single method that I have used to make over 300 million gold profit with no competition for sales, so no cancel scanning, whilst putting in less effort than my competitors. In my last video I showed you my unique 2 million gold an hour farming technique. In this one I'm finally going to show you another one of my secret techniques, and like I said, this one has made me over 300 million gold over the various times I have used it. An example of this in action, this is an extract from my TSM ledger, which accounts for everything I've bought and sold, and as you can see here, this is for a single day, March the 1st, 2022. You can see I made just over 12 million gold in purchases, had over 147 million gold in sales, and made 135 million gold profit. Like I said, in a single day, so that's 135 million gold profit in one day. Here's another quick example. This one is over 4 days in July 2021, and you can see me making around 118 million gold profit. Now, when these things were happening at the time, I had a lot of people moaning and whining about what I did was impossible, so I must have hacked, exploited, etc. I've never had any sort of ban from Blizzard. What I really want you to take away from this video is I show you exactly how this is done. It's the same as I showed you in the 2 million gold an hour farming technique video. That is that you may think some of the numbers involved are impossible or fake value, but I assure you, as you can see from my TSM data, these numbers are very doable, and you just need to come up with a different way of approaching gold making. So what we're talking about today then is getting first to market. The first person to unlock a crafting recipe makes a crazy amount of gold from it. This is even more so now that we have region-wide auction houses for a lot of stuff. For example, you're the first person who can craft a bind on equipped item level upgrade ring at the start of a new patch. You can sell it for an insane profit, maybe 100k each, and you will sell hundreds of these every day on a big server. We all know this, the problem is getting to be that one person who can craft it first. Now, the majority of the time this is a reputation race. You need to blitz a reputation grind and be the first person to get the required reputation level and get the privilege of making tens or sometimes even hundreds of millions of gold. Now, I would forgive you for thinking you just no life grind this. It sounds like an obvious answer. Every single time I have raced for reputation first, I have won, and I have done it whilst working around a full-time job, beating out those who can play all day. And I simply cannot compete with the amount of time that they can invest. This isn't about time, but it's about strategy. That winning strategy that has made me hundreds of millions of gold is going to be what I show you today. There are 3 important parts to this, and I'll go through them in turn. Point 1 and point 2 will guarantee that you win the reputation race, or at least it always has for me. And point 3 will be taking advantage of the situation to make the most gold possible. Now, point 1, and the vast majority of you probably already know about this, and it's diplomacy, the human ratio which gives you a 10% increased reputation gain. You have to be human, you cannot compete against a human in a reputation race. It's just as simple as that. Point 2 then, we need to talk about servers. Now we want to make as much gold as possible from doing this, so we need to be doing this on the highest population server possible. This is so that we have thousands of people to sell to, and we make the most possible gold when we do win. Anyone with a little bit of no lifing can probably win a reputation race on a low population server, but what is the point if you don't have anybody to sell to? We need those high population servers full of players who want to buy your stuff, but of course with all those extra players means much more competition for getting the reputation first. So we're going to do a Thanos here, but we're going to do it even better than that. With a click of our fingers, we are not only going to get rid of 50% of our competition, but going to make over 99% of our competition disappear. It sounds insane getting rid of 99% of our competition, to get the reputation first and have dominance of extremely profitable markets, but that's our I win button. So I'm going to talk about two different EU servers now, Kaychak and Silvermoon. These are two of the highest population servers in the EU, and they're going to demonstrate my strategy perfectly. On these two particular servers, you'll find that either the Horde cities are well populated and spammy as hell in trade chat, and the Alliance ones are dead, or vice versa. This is because the same thing happens on the vast majority of really high population servers, and the majority of the player base gravitates to one faction. So here we're looking at Silvermoon, and you can see that over 98% of the player base is Alliance, and that of course means that the Alliance races make up the majority of the characters on the realm. Now on Kaychak, the situation is reversed. Over 99% Horde, so therefore Horde characters make up the majority of the server. Now for a minute, let's assume both of these servers have a population of 10,000 players. On Silvermoon, over 26% of the player base is human and has the diplomacy reputation buff, making it so that you have 2,600 players who can compete with you in the reputation race. On the Horde dominated Kaychak, the situation is very different. Only 0.3% of the player base is human. That's only 30 human characters out of the entire population of 10,000. On Silvermoon, you have less than a 1% chance of winning a reputation race. On servers like Kaychak, I have a 100% record, and that is despite assuming the servers have an equal population. The majority of the time, these reputations have some sort of daily cap. This means it's actually impossible for someone without diplomacy to get anywhere near a human player. Additionally, anyone who is playing a human character on a server that's 99% Horde is not likely to be a hardcore player pushing reputations. It's more likely they're a casual having no idea what server is picked. You can't do much on a server that's 99% of the opposite faction. Using this technique of picking servers in this way easily wipes out 99% of your competition for getting that reputation first, and has guaranteed me the win every single time. Let's use Zereth Mortis as an example. When the patch came out, players were grinding like crazy to get revered reputation to unlock the crafter's mark, which then added to gear gave a huge item level upgrade for everyone. Campaign and world quests gave the majority of the reputation, with a small amount given from rares every day. In Zereth Mortis, I did the reputation grind across multiple characters every day whilst working a full-time job, simply because I didn't need to put that much effort in. I didn't need to kill every single rare every day because I know all the bonus reputation I got from the campaign and world quests gave me a lot of leeway against competition I know didn't have the diplomacy buff. People raged, saying I must have exploited etc. because they had done everything and I got there well before them, but they were just assuming because I played on a server like Kaychak that I was playing Horde as well. As a gold maker, your response should be to understand how and why, not jump into blaming hacking or whatever. You'll never improve like that. Some people did in fact message me and figured out exactly how I was doing it, and they made huge amounts of gold themselves in later patches. Okay, so we won the reputation race, now what? Part 3, taking advantage of the situation. When I won the race for Zereth Mortis reputation, I had dual crafting and leather working, and producing rings and necks that we all know sell well, and leather working, which makes armour for the most number of classes. You can really do well and make huge amounts of gold from this situation, but it can be optimised to make even more. If you really want to maximise your advantage, then you want to cycle through all the professions as many times as you need to craft and keep absolutely everything on the auction house. Bulk craft the leather and mail armour that only you can make enough to keep the entire server stocked for a while, drop leather working, pick up blacksmithing. Rinse and repeat this across every profession that your new reputation has given you access to something new, and cash in on the whole lot of it. You will be making tens of millions of gold if you do this right, potentially over 100 million if you get lucky. As an overview then, we used a human diplomacy reputation bonus combined with playing on a high population server with hardly any other humans, so almost guaranteeing winning the reputation race. We then flip between professions to maximise the amount of gold we make from this. There's only one tiny issue with this technique, and as you are watching this, the human diplomacy racial bonus has been removed from the game. So what's the point in this video then if you can't do this anymore? As soon as I released this video, this strategy became worthless even without the human racial. The competition would just be insane now as everyone did it, now that everybody knows. Anything like this that's released on YouTube video quickly becomes very worthless. Like I said earlier with the 2 million gold an hour farming video, this is about thinking a little bit about how you approach your gold making, because if you do things a little bit differently, you can potentially find some insanely profitable areas. Importantly, the best times for this are when new patches, and even better, when new expansions are released. So hopefully some of you can find some crazy niches that no one else is looking at, and maybe a little bit after War Within releases, I'll make a video on what I did on this expansion release this time. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you next time.